Let me tell you the thing that makes me go bananas. I don't know how to answer this question. Every time I get asked this question, I kind of want to poke my eye out, and that is, are you working today? When I get asked this question, it's typically by someone who wants to know like what I'm doing. If I'm at the hospital, I think is what they mean. Or I don't know. Do they just want to know if I'm sitting at home? Like, I don't know. But people ask me this question all the time. They ask me this question when they call me. They ask me this question when I pick up the phone, when I see them. And the answer to this question is always yes. Yes, I'm working. I work every day. like, and I think it bothers me because I think what the context is they're really asking, like, are you in the operating room taking care of patients, whether it's a family member, a friend? But I work every single day because I'm an entrepreneur and I own multiple businesses. And so I also am an employee and I work at a hospital. And I always have this sense of I need to answer this question in a way that will make this person feel less bad. And that comes from feedback I have received because a lot of people don't understand how I could possibly do all the things I do. And this often comes from people, both men and women, who do not understand my level of ambition. And they think that I'm somehow have time in the day that they don't have, or I have a cheat system or something that allows me to run businesses and be employed and be a mom of four. And I have struggled with this, being made to feel small and less than for my ambition for a decade plus, to the point where I try to minimize what I do and play small, and I don't talk about my achievements and what I can accomplish in a day to make other people feel better. I've stopped doing that. And today we're going to talk about this because I think this is honestly part of ditching perfection for peace and reframing ambition for peace has to come from within. It cannot come from someone else's opinion of you or expectation of you as a woman. So we're going to launch into this today. And if you love this podcast, if you are feeling this podcast, if it is speaking to you, you need to join my online group. I love this group. It is small. It is amazing women who get it. It's called The Table. It's off social media. And it's a encouraging, safe place for you. Why do you need it? Maybe you don't have friends right now in your life that you feel like you can share with. Maybe you have tons of friends, but you just need some positive encouragement and a mindset shift every day to get through your day. Maybe you need a little coaching and you feel stuck in an area. Join my group. You pay month to month. It's so low cost. It's such high value. I do a once a month coaching hour. And also I do a fun topic every month that we come together, we coach on, you learn about, and you get CME. If you're a physician woman, you get CME for this. This is incredible. But also you can just go in and post a question or post a comment and share how you're doing. And it's just a way for you to be held accountable for your own health and well-being. Go to becomebraveenough.com, click on The Table, and join my community today. Okay, so we are going to be talking about today Fierce at 50, right? What I have learned as I am entering my 50s from my just experience and life experience, and what I'm embracing and loving, and also listening to other women talk about, hey, this is what's coming up for me and what I learned in my 50s. And this whole season has been really about lessons about letting go and living free. I love it. I love empowering women to let go and live free. But I want to talk today specifically about something called the joy of missing out, JOMO, and ditching perfection for peace, and really reframing ambition and productivity on your terms. And why this is such an important part of your growth as a woman and your health as a woman is to ditch the perfection and embrace the productivity on your terms, the way you are productive. The first thing that I think we need to talk about is that you can be ambitious without sacrificing yourself. I love my life. There are times where I am very stressed and I am like, whoa, I've taken on too much because I'm human and it's a work in progress. But what I love about my work is that I get to decide what I peel back. And I always remember that, whether I am working in an employed situation or whether I am working in my entrepreneurial hat, which I have a very separate compartmentalized way that I go through that in every week. Either way, I have agency. So if you are someone who is literally finding yourself very ambitious and being shamed for it, and maybe you're employed, and yet oftentimes you feel like you don't have agency, I'm just here to tell you, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're employed, you have more agency than you understand. And if you are an employed person and you're finding yourself being shamed for being ambitious, and you decide to become an entrepreneur, you're still going to have that shame if you don't deal with some of the mindset shifts that we're going to talk about today. So the first thing I want to discuss today is really redefining ambition. Like, what does ambition mean for us as women? Oftentimes, it has been built and created for us by someone else. We've seen someone that maybe is in our work area or someone that we look up to. Maybe it's even someone in our family or someone in our childhood or someone in our college life or, education, that we're like, I'm going to be like that person. This is what the world has defined as ambitious. And we take on that measurement of ambition because we're women and we just sign up for it. We're like, oh yeah, sign me up for that level of ambition. That's what it looks like. That's what it has to be. That's what ambition as a woman has to look like. Oh, but not too much. I got to dial it back. Oh, but ambition means working hard all the time, constantly working, saying yes to everything, burning out. No, 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 no. I say no to things every single day. I got 3 emails today and they were all no, no, no. They were all asks that 15 years ago, I probably would have said, oh, should I say yes to this? Oh gosh. Oh, I don't know. This person's not going to like me. They were great asks. I don't have the capacity or want to do either one of them because they don't fit with my current goals for the year. And I was like, nope, nope, nope. And guess the amount of guilt and shame I have over saying no. Zilch. This is what agency looks like, because ambition and agency go hand in hand. They're partners if you want to avoid burnout. And ambition doesn't mean having constant output, okay? The other thing I want to make you understand is you can be deeply driven and still rest. Deeply driven as a person. I am highly driven. I wish sometimes I did not have the drive that I have. I wake up in the morning and I go. But I also can get really, really tired because of my drive and my ambition. So, for example, last night in the middle of the week, I found myself just careening towards complete exhaustion. And I got home yesterday morning. I had a million errands to run, and I got home in the morning and I was like, I'm so tired. And my whole plan for the day was to do all these things. I am actually going to go get in the hot tub in the middle of my workday, working from home. Not my employed day, my entrepreneur work day. Which oftentimes, if I don't have guardrails, I can work on my business for 16 hours a day. I can get up in the morning and start work at 6 in the morning and not finish until 10:30 at night. So I have to have guardrails. But yesterday I had all these things I was planning on doing. Boom, 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 boom. I was going to create this content, record this podcast, record some videos, send a bunch of emails on conference stuff, doing all this stuff. And I realized like, oh my gosh, I am exhausted. I stopped what I was doing and I went and got in the hot tub at like 12. And I was like, I'm going to rest actually. I'm feeling exhausted. I'm going to take the next 6 hours and rest. I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to get in the hot tub. I'm going to go for a walk. I am going to rest because that is what my soul craves. The only way that I could rest in the middle of the day is because I'm ambitious enough to follow my own internal drive and create a work life for myself where I have the agency to do that. And so I bring this up because I think it's so important to understand that when you are ambitious, you want to create pathways where you have agency and you are living with that agency to have the ambition that allows you to have the space to do things you want to do in your life, whether that's spend time with your family, whether that's get in the hot tub at noon, whether that's take a nap, whether that's travel. Ambition is allowed to look cyclical and seasonal. not linear. I'm going to say that one more time because this is so important on ambition and redefining it. Ambition is allowed to look cyclical and seasonal. And what I mean by that is that you're going to have years where ambition looks like just a flat line. It's not linear. That line's not moving up. It looks like a flat line. It may even look like a downward curve. But that's you being ambitious because you are in a season where maybe your kids are really needing you. Maybe your family, your elder aging parents need you. Maybe you're in a year of reflection and just meditation, and you're like trying to figure out what that next stage of life looks like for you. And it looks like rest and reflection. That's okay. That still is being ambitious. I have had seasons in my life where, I've had to fight those negative thoughts that are like, wow, look at this person, what she's doing. Look at this person. Wow, she's killing this. Oh, she's doing that. And all of a sudden, I'm in a stage where I know, and I've committed to myself just a year of growth and reflection and not starting new businesses and not creating new content and not making a ton of money. But I'm just going to sit back this year and really ask myself some hard questions and be in that space of being and not doing, so that I'm heading in the right direction in the next year. But I look around and I get so easily stressed out when I start comparing myself to others. So if you find yourself in a season where it's a flat line, that's okay. Because the growth that is going to come out of that season may be so rich and so wise that you are doing these things. It's like preventative medicine, so that you could prevent the burnout and the taking someone else's ambition and what that script is that they've written out for you. No. Those are the years where it's okay to just literally either go down or up or be flat. And taking those years where you reflect on your ambition and you take that energy to really think about what it is that your soul is craving is so important. So I would ask yourself, what is success if it's really not just constantly reaching, but it's that deep-rooted, what am I doing, that purposeful why? Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is productivity versus purpose. And this is so important because the truth is that I could just make a blog, make a podcast, do a coaching class. I could just keep doing that. And that is just being productive. But what is meaningful for me is when I take that day each month where I just go, okay, what is coming up for me this month? What do I actually want to talk about on the podcast? Like, what am I going through myself that I want to share with others? What is my group going through that I need to learn more to help them in my group, the table? What's coming up for these women? What am I seeing? What am I hearing in my coaching courses from women? And how can I help them? That's purpose. Productivity is just, I got to write this podcast. I got to write this blog. I got to write a lecture. I got to just, crank through the podcast episodes. It starts to lack purpose and it starts to become monotonous and work. And that is what burns us out. It's not the work, it's the absence of purpose. So making sure that you are ditching this perfection and really being rooted in purpose, because you know what? Do I produce the most amazingly produced podcasts where there's clips and there's snips and every single word is meaningful and I never misspeak and I never fumble over my words? No, I don't do any. I do all of that in these podcasts. In fact, I just refuse to create a perfect podcast every month because I don't really monetize my podcast. I do it to help and reach women. And so for me, I'm just putting out the truth. I'm putting out raw Sasha. I want it to be like you're sitting across from me at a coffee shop, literally. And so I don't do that. But do you know what? It's okay because my podcasts work. Every single year at the Brave Enough conference, someone comes up to me, at least a handful, 5 to 7 to 10, sometimes women will come up to me and say, introduce themselves. And I'll say, how did you hear about the Brave Enough conference? And they'll say, oh, I stumbled upon your podcast. And I am not saying this as a humble brag. I'm saying this because this is why I continue to do it. I get messages and texts every year from women who literally say, your podcast saved my life. I was careening towards deep depression and anxiety. I was thinking about suicide. I was thinking about, I was so miserable and overworked that I was about to have a health scare. I had no friends. I had no social life. My marriage was struggling, and I found your podcast and I started listening to your own story of burnout. And I realized that there were some similarities and I needed to reinvent and just set boundaries. Or they listened to me interviewing someone else who was sharing that, and they found the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why I keep doing this, right? It's not a perfect podcast. It's got many errors, and I misspeak and I say things that I should say better. I should script it out better. But you know what? It reaches women. And this is not, I don't check the box like, oh, I did the podcast this week. This is purpose driven. This is me coming on and sharing like my real struggles. I did a whole podcast season on grief and walking through grief and how I could barely get through each podcast. You guys heard me cry on there. That was real life. And that's not perfect. That's not productivity. This is purpose. This is a great example of it. So when you are internally aligned with your work, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like purpose. And peace comes when you focus on work that matters. Not everything everybody wants you to do, not the ambition that you subscribe to, not the productivity that someone else has told you. So one of the ways that I really try to ask myself is, and I try to ask myself all the time on social media, every month when I look at my social media content, I go, does this feel performative? Am I doing this because it's a trend everybody else is doing? Am I doing this because somebody's telling me I should talk about this? Am I doing this because am I doing this because this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm going through and this is also what my group is going through. So I'm going to speak to this because maybe there's a woman out there that needs to read something I've posted on social media and feel normal or feel encouraged or feel it's okay to set boundaries and say no today or to take a day of rest and get in the hot tub at noon. I did have a little fear when I was in the hot tub that I don't know. I always have this fear that like somebody's going to show up at my house and like in the middle of the day, like nobody really shows up at my house in the middle of the day, but somehow that the FedEx guy would see me or something and be like, what is happening? Somebody's in the hot tub at noon on a Tuesday. Oh, well. All right. So maybe asking yourself right now, if you're feeling like, if you're questioning, gosh, is my ambition misaligned? Like ask yourself, what are you producing and for whom? Are you producing your best work for your people you love in your life, the people that are in your community, the people you love to, maybe it's patients or clients that you love taking care of, or are you doing it for performative because someone else has given you a script in life that this is what you're supposed to be doing? And then let's talk about the joy of missing out. Okay. This is the third point I kind of wanted to bring up today is the joy of missing out is all about trusting yourself and trusting that it's okay to miss out, right? Because FOMO, the fear of missing out, is really rooted in scarcity. Like I got to do this thing because everybody's doing it. If I don't do it, I'm not going to be cool. Or like, I'm going to miss out on this thing. Even though I don't really want to go to this thing tonight, I probably should go because what if I miss out? JOMO, the joy of missing out, is rooted in it's enough. And the confidence that you're not missing anything that was meant for you. You're not missing anything that was meant for you. It's going to be okay. Even if that was for you last year, it's not for you this year. Even if it's for 99% of the other people, but it's not for you, that's okay. Living in abundance, living with enough. You know, sometimes I look online and I love going to conferences. I love speaking at conferences. There's so many great conferences now for women in medicine and women in healthcare. When I first started the Brave Enough conference, there was like one other conference that I loved and would go to. And then I started mine. That was it. Now there are so many women in medicine conferences and retreats. You could pick one a month. You could pick 2 a month and go. And sometimes I look online at these other conferences and I'm like, oh, I want to be there. I want to be there. Oh, I want to be at that one. Oh, I want to be at this one. I could just be a full-time conference attendee because I love conferences, but I can't. And I have to remind myself all the time, like somebody will text me, this was the best women's conference. You so missed out. And I will start feeling FOMO. And then I quickly turn it to JOMO and I go, that conference is awesome. I know the woman who puts it on. She does a great job. And you know what? I am fulfilled enough that I know that that conference, who needed to be there was there. And that woman who put that conference on, I know her, she's incredible. And whoever needed to be at that conference was there. And it was fulfilled enough that I don't need to have FOMO. I can have JOMO for that woman who organized that conference and celebrate her. You have to realize when you say no to you now, you're really saying yes to you in the future. So maybe asking yourself, do I trust that what I'm saying yes to is really worth my presence? Are you saying yes to things that your presence doesn't need to be at, that it doesn't really matter? Do you need to be peeling back those things? And then the last thing I want to bring up is just perfection being the thief of presence. When you're constantly striving for perfection in whatever ambition looks like for you, it just convinces you that you got to earn your peace. You got to earn your happiness. You got to earn your joy. It's not quite perfect, so you can't celebrate yet, right? Oh, I don't know. Like, that's not really great, so can't celebrate. Can't find joy in the process because it's not there yet. It's not perfect. It's not done, right? I find myself saying this all the time. I'm building right now an amazing space in Omaha called the Legacy Collective. And this is a women's club. It's the first club in Omaha. It's for women. It's going to be incredible. And it's not finished. And I find myself constantly wanting to celebrate small wins as I'm building this club. But then I go, oh, but you're not ready. It's not full ready. It's not ready for prime time. Don't celebrate yet. Don't celebrate. You got to wait. And then I've kind of changed this approach lately. And I'm like, you know what? No, I can totally celebrate that the design phase is done. I can celebrate that I've got the website up and going. I can celebrate that I'm recruiting founding members. I can celebrate these things. Like, I can totally celebrate them. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I should be celebrating all these things. Is the club perfect? Is it open and pristine and gorgeous? No, not yet, but man, it's going to be, and it's getting there. And the joy that I want to feel in the process of building this, I don't want to forget it, because I'm doing something amazing and big and huge in our community. And I'm doing something I've never done before. And I need to be celebrating every step of this. If I think about perfection, all that celebration goes away. All that joy goes away. And I start stressing, because I don't know how to do this yet. And I haven't figured that out yet. And I don't have this perfected yet. And I don't have the website perfect yet. And I don't have the design picked out perfectly yet. You know what? That just erases all the joy that I just have been working so hard to feel. You don't want your life to turn into an endless checklist. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever literally been sitting there in your life going, oh, what do I have to do today? I got to start the checklist. And all of a sudden, you're not living your life. You're just checking boxes. 20 years can go by and you can be checking boxes. I'm speaking truth. Don't have your life be an endless checklist. Peace is found in progress, in being human, and getting messy, and figuring it out, and celebrating those small wins, and staying away from this perfectionistic mindset. When you find yourself delaying joy, you are in perfection mode. Stop. Get joy in the moment. Joy for the small wins. Maybe your win is that you washed your hair today. I had a week like that last week where I literally I had event after event after event after event every night after work. And I would go to the hospital every day last week, and then I would go to an event, and I had no time to wash my hair because it's a whole process. Y'all know this. Like, my hair is a whole process to wash it, to dry it. I air dry my hair, then I curl it because I don't like how the blow dryer makes my hair look. So it's this whole thing. And sometimes I just do, it's a whole thing. It takes me like 2 hours to wash my hair. No joke. Because I have a mask that I put on, and then it lets it sit for 15 minutes. And I did not have time for like 4 days to wash my hair. I had time to shower and do the hair cap, but I did not have time to get my hair wet. And I realized, like, you know what? The other day when I finally got to wash my hair, I was like, I'm just going to have joy in this moment. Joy for washing my hair. This is what ambition looks like today. I did the 2-hour process. So what would it look like if you were allowed to have B work and just get things done and celebrate the done and celebrate the productivity rooted in purpose? What would that look like? Missing out is not a failure. It's a strategy. Choose what deserves your energy. And honestly, the version of you who rests is still worthy and brilliant and still enough. I hope that you have loved this little episode today on ditching perfection. And I want to tell you, if you are in the Omaha area and you listen to my podcast, will you share this podcast with someone else? And I want you to go to legacycollectiveomaha.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. This is my new business I'm starting. It's a premier club for women, luxury club in Omaha. It's going to be amazing. Share it with other women. I know I have so many followers across the country, but this club is getting opened in my community, and I'm really excited to share with you about it. Go to the website, legacycollectiveomaha.com. Check it out. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for listening, and remember to live brave.